When you're on one of your project kickoff phone calls, what's the first thing you do? You might grab a notepad, right? A pen and paper, or maybe the type of notepad that ends in .txt. Or maybe you start jotting things down into a spreadsheet to track tasks and objectives as you go. Now, we know how these calls typically go. In our example here, Pete calls Eric to discuss a range of feedback they've gathered, much of which will be used to develop a new set of SOL designs for their product, the VF2. And then, pen, pad, spreadsheet. But not for Pete and Eric, not this time. They got on that kickoff call like they usually do, only this time, they've got SOLIDWORKS and 3DEXPERIENCE. And with the latter, they get to start smart and simple. With their 3DEXPERIENCE logins, Pete and Eric both have access to add feedback notes representing what each of them has heard from their customers. The Post-its go on the virtual board inside their browser windows, not on their shared cubicle wall or a conference room someone else needs in 8 minutes. Pete takes the notes that both he and Eric have made and converts them directly into tasks that can be placed into a project plan. That's right. Before they even get off their first call, Pete starts a project plan they can both see. He ties dates to all of the deliverables they've discussed, key to any successful project. As he builds out the project plan with more detail, Pete takes advantage of useful features like duplicating tasks. That means he can retain similar aspects like due dates, task owner, priority level, and more in copied tasks that can now be tracked separately. Inside SOLIDWORKS, Eric's freely able to do what he does best, develop new product concepts and add his files directly to the tasks that both he and Pete created together on their call. When Eric's done doing his thing in SOLIDWORKS, he just adds his concept designs to the appropriate task from inside SOLIDWORKS, and Pete can see the updates instantly. This means no 30-minute weekly check-in calls, no requests for copies of files, no downloads of viewer tools for non-CAD users, and, best of all for Eric, no leaving SOLIDWORKS. Now, if you've ever managed a project with multiple stakeholders, you know things can get complicated, especially when you're calling people, emailing them, and checking boxes in cells to indicate reviews and completions. Pete has new simple ways to filter through his projects, either by product in 3D, by color coding the schedule view intelligently, or by using searchable tags. And Eric, well, he has new simple ways to get him using SOLIDWORKS more often and sitting in on meetings and check-in phone calls way less often. With the addition of 3DEXPERIENCE to their toolkit, Pete and Eric truly know how to start SOLIDWORKS simple. And with 3DEXPERIENCE Works, you can expand simple too, with easy upstart tools to help you structure your products, manage your design changes, and much more. What barrier to successful project tracking will you overcome?
Parts are becoming more complex and delivery times are getting shorter. When you add the advancements of machine tools, it becomes crucial that shops streamline the manufacturing process. Being able to program parts faster and more accurately allows companies to focus on new jobs and not on manufacturing errors that cause delays. Just like you, Sam has many different parts come through his shop. He's able to spend more time bidding jobs and managing the business since he started using Delmia's shop floor programmer. Let's take a look at some of the tools Sam uses to accelerate programming time and reduce manufacturing errors. Sam starts with the Setup Wizard. Shop Floor's Machining Wizard simplifies the task of setting up your working environment with a guided step-by-step workflow. The wizard speeds up setup time by defining machine, post-processors, stock, and tooling for any machine in your shop. Defining machining operations is fast, easy, and accurate in Shop Floor Programmer, utilizing automation tools like automatic hole feature recognition. Feature recognition will identify the diameter and depth of each hole on the part and assign the appropriate process. Setting machining areas and boundaries can be a timely task in most CAM systems. Automatic boundaries and process-specific controls help you fine-tune your programs for your specific machines without fear of gouging. Accuracy is paramount, so for the final surface machining, Sam takes advantage of advanced surface finishing to precisely machine the entire surface of the part. Shop Floor Programmer uses the actual surface geometry to calculate the surface paths. This eliminates surface faceting and costly handwork. Advanced surface finishing can also be used for complex 3D geometry, such as the webbing on the bottom of the part. You can also define the boundaries of all operations, like this time-intensive machining process, by using limiting contours. The selection tool makes it easy to define the area, using both existing geometry as well as automatically defined geometry. You can review the entire machining process at any time by running a full machine simulation. Here you can look for any potential problems and clearly see the different types of operations separated by specific colors. Toolpath simulation also shows leftover stock or intermediate stock, which makes cleanup fast and easy. The graphic representation of the toolpath laid over the part gives you a clear view of each operation and each movement of the tool. Once satisfied with his results, Sam just saves the NC code and sends it off to his machine. He knows the code is right because Shop Floor Programmer supplied him with proven post-processors specific to the machines in his shop. Once the job is running, Sam has constant visibility through the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. He knows that having all of his data in one place helps his team communicate any changes that may come up. Find out how Delmia's Shop Floor Programmer empowers users to program any machine in their shop quickly, easily, and accurately, slashing design to production cycle time, resulting in more accurate parts and faster time to market. All of this is possible with the power of 3DEXPERIENCE Works. How will you expand your horizons with 3DEXPERIENCE Works manufacturing automation?
.3DEXPERIENCE Works provides access to injection molding simulation capabilities that could expand your horizons. And since you're connecting your team on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, you can make design decisions faster with robust collaboration around web-based lightweight results. What if you could predict common defects like weld lines, sink marks, air traps, and short shots? Plastic Injection Engineer lets you validate plastic part and mold tooling designs by simulating the filling, packing, and cooling stages. Injection Molding Engineer is connected to your SOLIDWORKS software out of the box and quickly deploys from the cloud. You'll also be able to analyze multi-cavity and family mold layouts, including sprues, runners, and gates. Evaluate your cooling line layouts and runner systems. And estimate cycle time, clamp tonnage, and shot size to optimize feed system design and avoid costly mold rework. Simulation doesn't stop with injection molding analyses. Take on fluids, structures, electromagnetics, and motion studies as well. How could you expand your horizons with advanced simulation and 3DEXPERIENCE Works? .3DEXPERIENCE Works provides access to electromagnetic simulation capabilities that could expand your horizons. And since you're connecting to your team on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, you can make design decisions faster with robust collaboration around web-based, lightweight results. With Electromagnetics Engineer, you can analyze and optimize designs such as antennas, microwave components, and consumer devices. If you validate product performance virtually, you can reduce time to market and risks of malfunction. Electromagnetics Engineer is based on the industry-proven CST Studio Suite. This technology includes unprecedented reliability and accuracy. It includes specialized solvers for applications such as motors, circuit boards, cable harnesses, and filters. Electromagnetics Engineer is connected to your SOLIDWORKS software out of the box and quickly deploys from the cloud. Build coupled simulations at the system level. Incorporate hybrid, multiphysics, EM, and circuit co-simulation. And you can link your models to powerful optimizers to automate design exploration. These product validation tools don't stop at electromagnetic analysis. Take on fluids, plastics, structures, and motion kinematics as well. How could you expand your horizons with advanced simulation and 3DEXPERIENCE works?
As your business grows, so does the need to clearly communicate and coordinate design changes. Processing incoming requests, understanding the implications of potential changes to your SOLIDWORKS CAD relationships, and ensuring traceability for all approvals is inherently complex. But managing your change process doesn't have to be. Let's follow Pete and Eric as they streamline their change management with Collaborative Industry Innovator on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. Pete's been visiting customers to understand how they can improve the foot design. As users provide him input, he utilizes his tablet to capture the feedback and logs it as an issue. Issues are a powerful way to document enhancement requests and design problems. Pete can select the affected item, provide a quick screen capture with an annotation, and then assign it to Eric for review, completely streamlining their communication. Back in the office, Eric manages the incoming issues on his dashboard. A simple drag and drop allows Eric to visualize the issue on the associated model, and to provide Pete with feedback that will stay connected to the design. He's confident they can make the change, so he updates the issue to an in-work status and starts a formal change action directly from the issue. All the information is carried over, making Eric's life easier. He simply sets the priority and a due date and hits save. Now, Eric can begin building out the change details. Pete is automatically added so he can be notified when it's completed. And Eric assigns the design changes to Debbie, his lead SOLIDWORKS user. But what about other stakeholders? Eric adds an approval template to the change action to ensure everyone involved can review and sign off on the design change. With any change, it's important to do a full change assessment. The 3DEXPERIENCE platform enables Eric to identify all upstream relationships to fully understand the impact of the change. Affected drawings and assemblies can be selected and dragged onto the change action. Now, Eric just needs to move the change action to an in-work status, which automatically creates all the needed revisions. For Debbie, the change action now provides the needed information and permission for any updates to the design. She simply needs to work under the change action inside SOLIDWORKS. With material removed from the linkage, Debbie updates the change action maturity directly from the task pane, initiating the chain of reviews and approvals. With the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, the team no longer passes around physical paper, requesting approval signatures. Instead, Eric can provide a digital sign-off with his username and password. Approving the change action automatically updates the lifecycle status of the affected items to released. And the best part? A digital record of all approvals is captured, providing full traceability. Managing your change process doesn't have to be complex. With Collaborative Industry Innovator, you can process incoming ideas, understand the implication of design changes, and track approvals, all from a web browser. And with the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, your data, projects, and products are all connected, providing a seamless, single source of truth. What barrier to change will you overcome with 3DEXPERIENCE Works?
So much has changed over the last 10 years, hasn't it? Over the last 10 years, what changes have you experienced? I bet the ways you connect to your job and accomplish your work are most certainly different. Progress must be part of your purpose. To make great design successful, you must also master the business of product innovation. Where we used to think of CAD data as the main source of truth, actually product development information is all around us, in every conversation, idea, interaction.
Welcome to 3DEXPERIENCE World 2021.
As smoothly as your team works together, what about your extended value network?
Let me invite William and Charles from Square aboard. What made you pick 3DEXPERIENCE platform?
We really needed a mechanism to store and organize revision-controlled CAD data in the cloud. And so we looked to 3DEXPERIENCE to do that.
For 2023, the SOLIDWORKS R&D team, as usual, has delivered an amazing lineup of enhancements to help you work smarter, faster, and together. Not just together as a team, but also connected to your data and your tools. In 2023, we will improve your productivity and optimize your CAD potential. But to truly accelerate your innovation, you need to make all product information available for your entire enterprise to access and act on real time throughout the day, wherever they are. As you look to 2023, how will you continue to improve your productivity and expand creativity? How will you inspire those around you? For now, sit back and enjoy the demonstrations that follow. Share them with your friends, and let's make 2023 together the most innovative and successful year yet. Oh, and see you next at Nashville for 3DEXPERIENCE World.
Welcome to What's New in 3DEXPERIENCE Works 2023 edition. Hey, hope everyone is having a great day today. This continuation of the hugely successful What's New in SOLIDWORKS 2023 episode of Live is marking a lot of firsts for us today, actually. So as you may have noticed, if you're tuning in on YouTube, this is the first ever live show that we are hosting on the brand new 3DEXPERIENCE Works YouTube channel. So what does this mean for the SOLIDWORKS YouTube channel? Hey, I'd argue nothing but good things moving forward. So instead of trying to cram every bit of the intrinsically related content between SOLIDWORKS and 3DEXPERIENCE Works onto one channel, we're now powering two channels in 2023 with more focused approaches. On the SOLIDWORKS side, we're rededicating ourselves to bringing you content that reinforces the authentic design experience that you've come to know and love from the SOLIDWORKS brand, the 3D CAD product, and the overall community. With 3DEXPERIENCE Works, a portfolio of product development solutions made for SOLIDWORKS customers and, hey, named after SOLIDWORKS, of course, You'll see more of a focus on how you can overcome barriers and expand your horizons with the best data management, simulation, manufacturing, and more. All those solutions, right? To keep you innovating at the highest levels. So regardless of how you got here today, hey, take this moment to make sure that you're subscribed to both the SolidWorks and 3D Experience Works channels. So 2022 was a banner year. We'll talk about that later. You know, a banner year for the SolidWorks channel. And hey, regardless of what happens, you know, through the rest of this year, it'll be technically our best year yet on the 3D Experience Works channel here in 2023. So like over 100,000 of you saw in the What's New in SolidWorks 2023 episode of Live, SolidWorks 2023 brought a ton of great enhancements to what was already the industry-leading 3D design tool for product developers everywhere. And with 3D Experience Works in 2023, we're focused on expanding your product development horizons and breaking down barriers like never before. But these are pretty high-level themes. You know, what does that even mean? Well, to be pragmatic about it, we're spanning outside of just design to help you solve other problems in other phases of the overall product development cycle. Look, we've had over 20 years, over 25 years to get to know so many of you all across the globe, each of you with your own particular challenges themselves that keep evolving and keep changing. And in a changed business landscape with today's technology, there are new questions, right? So for example, what are some new ways that we're helping you manage your projects, your design changes, your product releases? How are we helping you produce your products with machining solutions, robotics, and facilities tools that help to keep you ahead of the competition and supporting your own customers? And how are you able to virtually test your SolidWorks models to ensure that they're both manufacturable and ready for real-world use cases? So you'll learn all about that here in the next hour or so. But first, with 3D Experience World coming up in just about a month here, we wanted to check in with one of the most storied world presenters of all time. I see Javelin and Trimek in the chat here. We're going to be checking in with Alin Vargatu to get his perspectives on not only the upcoming conference here in February 2023 with 3D Experience World, but the SolidWorks 2023 release overall, because after all, we can't have 3D Experience Works without SolidWorks. So let's take a look at our conversation here with Alin. Everyone, we're here in the Future of Design segment. I'm joined here by Alin. Alin, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Nice being here. Thank you for inviting me, Sean.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to speak to you. And I think everyone here in the chat will know this already, but you've been a big part of the SolidWorks community for many years now, right? I would say your reputation certainly precedes you. Can you tell us a little bit about your career and your activity in the community overall through to today?
Absolutely, sure. Once I finished university, so I have a master in non-destructive testing and weldments. I actually went and started applying what I learned. So for a couple of years, I was working for a research company that got contracted to perform non-destructive testing in power plants. So I was almost like a monkey with a 7-kilogram ultrasonic detector and liquid penetrance and trying to find all the cracks. It was pretty cool.
We all got to start somewhere, right?
Absolutely. Actually, you know what? It was a great experience, right? And then I figured out, you know what? What I love the most is actually designing, creating things. So I started using CAD. That was actually my first love in university, and I came back to it. Starting with 2D CAD and then moving quite quickly to 3D. I was fortunate to work for very interesting companies. Probably one of the most innovative office furniture company in the world, Technion Furniture. That was my first job where I used a 3D CAD tool. And at that point, they were looking to find a 3D CAD solution for all the departments in the company. So since I already had the experience, I was nominated to join 12 other individuals from other departments to find the tool for a huge company. So we experienced all the CAD tools that were available at that time. So that was just before year 2000, including SolidWorks. We got training in all of those software, and in the end, we decided SolidWorks is the best tool for the job. So that was pretty cool. And after that, I changed job a few more times. I was working for store fixture company, and then for a tool and die shop. Now, a tool and die shop, you might think it's a small company, and it's true. It was a small company with a very ambitious owner. So we went for any job that was was existing at that point. Pretty much any industry you can think of, and we didn't do just tooling. We did automation projects, gauges, fixture. You name it, we did it. Which meant that every day I had to reinvent the wheel, and I had to use and abuse SolidWorks as much as possible. And that gave me also the opportunity to work with my reseller at that time. Call support all the time, not necessarily just because something was wrong with SolidWorks, but they were so good to put me in the right direction, providing documentation. And also, at one point, they said, you know what, why don't you come here and take the training? And that was actually unbelievable. I went there. The owner of the company said, take all the training that you want. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take all the training that they have available. That took about a year to take it. And they asked me, what do you want to start with? At that point in my mind, I thought I already know SolidWorks very well, but who doesn't want a vacation? So let me start with essentials. I probably already know everything. Imagine my surprise. After the first hour of the first day of the essential course, I had like 3 pages of notes. It was like, what? How come I didn't know that this stuff exists? Like this thing that I needed a week ago, and I spent 3 hours to get it done. You mean there is a tool that I can use? And because you don't know what you don't know. So I was a client of Javelin Technologies, my VAR from that time for about 7 years. After which I was thinking, okay, my job is very interesting. I have access to these industries, but what if I get access to even more than that? Like the whole world. Oh, let me open the whole world and allow me to go and visit all these amazing companies, talk to super intelligent people and see their crazy products. So I joined Javelin Technologies, who is now Trimax Solutions, in 2009. And I started by delivering tech support, delivering training. Very quickly, because I was so curious about what clients are doing and how we can help them, I morphed more into a consulting role. So we would get calls from a client asking, we need to double the production. We just got this big contract, 6 months, we need to double the production. I already ordered the machines. I have 20 people in the engineering room. What do I do? Do I work these guys to death, or do I hire double the number of people? What training should they take? And my answer originally was, I have no idea. Allow me to come in. I'm going to spend a day with these 20 people, maybe 2 days. I'm going to talk to each and every one of them. They need to educate me how they use the software, how they are actually creating the products, what are the constraints, what are the goals, and then we're going to find out what we can do to make them better. And that was very successful. And that actually became more and more clients requested this type of work. So it became kind of 60% of my job. Now, the other thing that was really interesting is that in most of these discussions, there were a couple of keywords there. One of them was large assemblies or large drawings. And as you can imagine, that wasn't necessarily a positive reference. They were complaining about performance and things like that. So starting about 2011, 2012, I had to start researching on this topic. So again, clients pushing me to a very interesting area of research. So if you Google my name, you're going to probably find my name associated to the term of large assemblies.
Yes.
I have written a bunch of books on that, training courses, doing presentations left and right. And the good news is that that makes clients change their mind. So I don't know if you heard that many people thinking that SolidWorks is a great product, but it works only up to here. When you get to a certain level of complexity, you should look for something else like CATIA probably. While CATIA is a great product, guess what? You actually haven't pushed the limits of what SolidWorks can do, because there are three things you always should consider. Hardware, obviously, to have a good machine. Software, to use the version of SolidWorks that is the most capable for the job. And hopefully we can talk a little bit about that, because 2023 blew my mind on the capabilities. And third, upgrade the user. So upgrade hardware, upgrade software, upgrade user. If you don't do that, you will not maximize the efficiency and the return of investment in your job.
That's just so cool. So you've spent a lot of time talking about, what's new in SolidWorks 2023 at, like you mentioned, at TriMech at your multiple launch events, right? Similar to us with our what's new in SolidWorks 2023 episode from around that time, right? End of last year. With some distance now, though, as we kick off the 2023 calendar year together, what have been, I don't know, your top 5 favorite features of SolidWorks 2023?
Well, top one, so the most important one, since I'm a large assembly wizard, let's say.
Of course.
It's not even in the what's new document. I had to make my own presentation on that because there was nowhere in the what's new document. The fact that SolidWorks 2023 opens a certain type of assemblies about 4 to 5 times faster than any version before. And I'm talking fully resolved. I'm not talking about the new option that you have in 2023, where you let the software to decide if some components are going to be open, lightweight, or resolved. No, I'm just saying when the user is fully in control, it says open everything fully resolved. So instead of, and I did a lot of research on that. The first time I did it, I couldn't understand what's going on. What am I missing? What setting I'm getting it wrong? Because something that before it took about 6 minutes to load, now I can load in 1 minute and 30 seconds, and it's fully detailed, all the features and everything. Wow. So what do you do in a situation like that? You call somebody from Dassault who's a specialist. I call Nick Burkett-Smith, who's the large assembly god, actually the assembly god at the Dassault Systems. And I said, Nick, what's going on? And his first reaction is, I don't know, let me ask. We didn't plan. It's not in the what's new. I'm not aware of it. We didn't plan for SolidWorks. I mean, SolidWorks to be faster, but I'm not aware of an initiative for that. So he did a bit of digging, and he came back saying, yeah, you're right. It was actually an SPR that got closed, a bug. And this bug I'm not going to say it's a bug. It's more like the previous functionality of SolidWorks, however the code was written, was inefficient when an assembly would load components that had a lot of bodies with a lot of colors associated to faces, which, if I ask my clients, especially the ones from the automotive industry or aerospace, they're going to tell me all of our assemblies are exactly like that. So for about a huge number of my clients, simply upgraded to 2023, just turn the key, and suddenly everything is much, much faster, not only during opening, but also when you switch configurations, when you switch windows, you're going to find out that SolidWorks is much more efficient. And this kind of aligns to what Bruce Holway and John Sweeney told me a few years ago, and actually told everybody, not me, it's not a secret, is that they heard the user loud and clear back in, I believe, 2017-18, when they said, you need to dedicate a bit more of your resources for improving performance and stability. And my understanding is that they are actually rewriting the old code. So if somebody says, oh, SolidWorks is a 26-old software, it's tired, it's not true. It gets rewritten, and it became so much faster. And I still don't see these new improvements shown in the what's new document. Just take it from me, try it yourself. You're going to find that for certain assemblies, this is out of this world. A few other things that, I mean, there are so many things, I don't even know where to start.
Sure.
One of the craziest things is, again, a simple thing, library features. Although many of my clients are saving time automating their procedure using library features. In the past, you put a feature in the new part, it had to be perfect. Otherwise, if it was an error in the feature tree, it wouldn't accept it. Well, 2023 is more forgivable, so then you can fix the error. So suddenly you can do much more. A big one, and again, it's not properly in my mind, described in the what's new. It's the improvement in the comments functionality. So yeah, we get colors and the fact that you can get prompts when a part gets open. But the most important thing for me is that when you right click on a feature in the comments folder, it gives you the whole context bar and the right menu of a feature in the tree. So in a way, you kind of created a selection sets, a selection set with the comments. So you can right click directly there and you can start working. That's crazy. This is something that we suggested. I believe it was in the top 10 ideas a few years back. And again, the product definition team of the user experience delivered. A huge one, it's auto repair mates, which is gonna probably remove quite a few cool things that I deliver in the assembly course, because now all those tools, you can say, yeah, I know you can just right click and say auto repair. And all those dang errors are disappearing like magic. It's unbelievable. For my clients that are working with large assemblies, sometimes they have to export their files a step to give them to companies who use other format. Well, large assemblies were really time consuming. Sometimes they would fail the step file. Now you can save the components of an assembly as a step file. It's just a simple setting in system options, press save, and magic happens. Can I go with a few more of my favorites? Just a few more.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Something that sounds trivial. The fact that you can color the explode lines. That is huge, man. You can actually really declutter the drawing because now you understand what's going on in there. Magnetic mates. I'm in love with magnetic mates. If they're being used properly, they can completely change a company's experience. Well, now we can do so much more with them, including configuring them, including suppressing them. It's crazy. For the sheet metal lovers, the fact that we can have now gauge values in custom properties, this is probably the most requested thing ever. Oh, can I have it? Well, sorry, no, but you can use these crazy macros. No, now it's part of SolidWorks. And same thing with sensor for sheet metal. Like we can design anything, but does it fit on the sheet that we're going to put on the laser? Now you can actually put a little sensor there. You can keep designing and suddenly you're going to have a warning saying, hey, man, you have to think about that because this is not going to fit anymore. So that was pretty crazy. And I have a few other ones like single line, font wrap, the fact that you can use equations in move bodies command and things like that. And this is just the pure core functionality of SolidWorks. I'm not going to even go in details with everything else that we have. But yeah, 2023 delivered on two major fronts from me. You might have heard there are some people saying, well, SolidWorks is a mature product and not as much gets into developing it anymore because Dassault is focused on 3D experience products. Well, this year actually proved that that's absolutely not true. Performance got improved tremendously. So pretty much rewriting the code and rejuvenating SolidWorks is happening actively year after year after year. And new features are also being added. New features that users requested. It's not something that somebody at Dassault system say, hey, let's add a new frill. This actually, many of these things were in the top 10 idea contests for the last 2-3 years. And it looks like product definition is fine-tuned to, and they are listening actively what the users are requesting, and then they are delivering. And one thing I can tell you, because I was involved in the comments improvement, Priya from Dassault kept calling me for pretty much throughout the year saying, hey, you wanted that improvement in comments. Can I show you something quickly? Do you want that? And I would bring actually the client who requested that on the meeting. Hey, what do you think? Oh, and I said, yeah, that's great. But what if you do this instead? And in the end, this is what it came. It's, whenever I hear somebody saying that SolidWorks is old and is stale, I would like to have a conversation with that person.
Alin, thank you. Thank you so much for everything you do in the community. And thank you so much for jumping on here at SolidWorks Live.
Thank you for inviting me. It has been a pleasure being here and looking forward to meet many of the viewers at 3D Experience World.
Absolutely. Wow, it is always inspiring to hear from just an absolute legend. As many of you in the chat have indicated, on the heels of several 3D Experience World presentations live from Alin in Nashville here in 2023 in just about a month. So once again, while you're here, be sure to subscribe to this channel, again, the new 3D Experience Works YouTube channel, but also make a note, while we have this moment, really consider attending this conference. There's still time to register. Again, it's just about a month away, and you'll get the chance to attend hands-on sessions with product experts like Alin. You just can't beat it. Before we move on to the next section, I also wanted to give a shout out to an article that Alin recently had published on engineersrule.com titled "Now is the Time to Vote on the SOLIDWORKS Top 10 List." This is an awesome process and awesome community. We have a top 10 list community you can join and take part in if you want to really influence the direction of SOLIDWORKS 3D CAD, the software, the enhancements, just like Alin mentioned. If that's something you're interested in, there's your chance. So we'll put the link to that engineersrule.com article that Alin wrote in the chat in the 3D Experience Works stream here on YouTube. And yeah, when you get a chance, bookmark that, take a look. It's a pretty expansive article, and you can take part in that community today, leading through to 3D Experience World 2023. Now, once again, getting back to what's new with 3D Experience Works 2023. One of our big themes here is expanding your horizons. And in other words, what it takes to develop your product end to end in 2023 beyond just designing the 3D CAD models, right? And a huge part of that, with it, for example, plastic injection molding, consumer product design, industrial applications, and much, much more is behooving us to look at more ways of not only simulating our end result designs, but having our simulations inform our design processes altogether. And joining us to speak on this topic is Ramesh, who is a senior leader here at SOLIDWORKS and 3D Experience Works on our simulation solutions. Ramesh, how's it going today?
Good, Sean. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, anytime. It's going great. Welcome to the inaugural live episode of 3D Experience Works, our new channel. Ramesh, just want to start off with this question here. You've been personally with Dassault Systèmes working on SolidWorks-based simulation offerings for over 20 years now. What was the landscape like when you first started here, and how's it changed even in the past 10 years or so with how our customers need to test, validate, and optimize their SolidWorks designs?
Yeah, I think that question really takes me down memory lane, right? So, like you said, I've been with SolidWorks Dassault Systèmes for more than 20 years now. So even before I joined SolidWorks, right, I was a graduate student. I was actually an automotive engineer working in a company in India. And clearly at that point of time, design and simulation were two discrete entities. And so what that meant is so the idea was, okay, let's start with the design, toss that over to someone else, like an analyst or an engineer, to do even simple basic level simulations, right? And what happened in the late 1990s and early 2000s was that a lot of companies were under the pressure of accelerating their product development process, and that really required companies to do faster design iterations. So there was a huge market driver for actually getting simulation usage upfront in the design process. And CAD embedded simulation, like SolidWorks simulation, really paved the way for this transformation. So a lot of times people say simulation democratization took place just because of the fact that now non-experts could now do basic level simulations with the sole intent of doing faster design iterations. Once they get to the optimal design, they hand that over to an analyst or an engineer for doing a more complete, more comprehensive simulation. So this is really a game changer back in the day, right? Because it also established a very strong framework for actually simulation data management. Then came the digital revolution, where disruptive technology trends such as IoT or digital twin, AI, machine learning, ModSim, you name it, right? And all of these technology drivers actually caused a demand for multi-scale, multi-physics simulation and cloud computing, right? But then, all these tools had to be provided in a more holistic platform integrated environment, so that the intent was also not just, hey, here are all the tools you need, but really helping break down the barriers between different departments and helping facilitate collaboration and enhance collaboration. So here we are in 2023, where I think the 3D Experience platform really is a game changer in terms of enabling this digital transformation for companies across multiple industries.
That is huge, absolutely huge. And we take that trip, like you said, down memory lane. A lot of us are familiar. A lot of our community members are familiar with our simulation offerings that they likely know, right? It's the SOLIDWORKS embedded, certain structural, fluid, and plastics problems that we've helped them solve over the years. Just as we looked even over that footage, just some of the problems that again we've kind of specialized in, but our audience, our customers, they might be unfamiliar with some of the new challenges, new problems that we're able to help them solve with their products and the demands that their products have to meet today. Such as electromagnetic problems, right? Electromagnetic capabilities that are now available to SOLIDWORKS users from the 3D Experience Works portfolio. Ramesh, can you talk a little bit about why this is important now for SOLIDWORKS customers as we move into 2023?
I think electromagnetic analysis is a big part of today's technology in terms of the emergence of 5G networks, connected devices, autonomous vehicles, you name it, wearables in the life sciences industry. So such as for example, what you're seeing here on the screen is antenna analysis of a high-tech wireless speaker. And this technology is available on the platform that provides easy access to CAD data. It allows for collaboration among multiple users. And also it actually helps investigate lightweight results in a browser environment. Here's another example that you're looking at for an excavator model where antenna placement could be critical. And so antenna design and placement is a huge part of electromagnetic analysis. Now, if you have multiple antennas and you want to make sure, for example, they don't interfere, you can actually do that using what is called as co-side interference analysis. So there's a lot you can actually do with this technology, which is fully integrated into the 3D Experience platform, from antenna design, placement to co-side interference, because there is a reason, right? A lot of these things have to also comply with EMC regulations, which is FCC body in the United States. And the good news is a lot of these products are already designed in SolidWorks by our customers.
Yeah, and speaking of 3D Experience World, just a quick comment on that. I know Peter Cabotin, who's I believe on your team, right? He's actually co-running a hands-on workshop at 3D Experience World, which I believe is titled something to the effect of how to place an antenna on your product. Which hands-on workshop, which you can't get, right? You can't get virtually, but if you're in person in Nashville, we'll have a machine right there, an exercise right there, and you leave Nashville knowing how to do stuff like that better, right? Taking that back to your companies and your products.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great point, Sean. Yeah, if you're in Nashville, I would strongly encourage you to, just test drive this technology for yourself, right? Because not only you're testing how the CST Studio technology helps do different types of electromagnetic analysis, but also you're going to get hands-on experience with the 3D Experience platform.
Yeah, that's huge. And again, machines they're right there, right? You just walk in, you sit down, and you take part in an exercise. It's so cool. Getting back to some of the software side here, I think one point of confusion within our customer base might be as we get into solutions that maybe customers have thought, hey, you guys have already solved this, right? I thought you guys already had a fluid and thermal simulation tool, for example. In terms of expanding our horizons, in this example, right, how do the fluid and thermal tools that we have available now on 3D Experience help SolidWorks users uniquely today? And And are they, as a kind of related question, are they completely detached from SolidWorks?
Yeah, I can answer the second question first. And also the quick answer there is both the tools are actually connected with SolidWorks environment, so you can design and do your CFD analysis side by side. In terms of physics capabilities, both tools offer similar capabilities, but the CFD on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform actually does a lot more in terms of being able to do HVAC analysis on large systems. And it also brings superior technology, like, for example, boundary layer meshing and advanced turbulence models, a rigid body motion solver, and even multi-species analysis, like this medical inhaler example that you're seeing here. So but the biggest advantage of the CFD on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform is being able to use HPC power. So you can actually solve your CFD problems much faster. You can use tools to compare different design iterations together very quickly and find the best design end of the day. So to summarize, I think the key differentiators to take away between the desktop simulation and the cloud-based, cloud-enabled CFD tool is that when it comes to large complex geometries, you want to run your CFD problems and have a quick turnaround on productivity, right? And in order to facilitate that, now you can take advantage of the HPC structure that's available and where you can run a CFD problem using up to 144 cores.
And how do say, it's interesting. We also address areas like manufacturability, which I think is important to talk about. And let's talk about that a bit here. How did it say the plastic injection molding tools available on 3DEXPERIENCE help SolidWorks users solve the problems that they need to solve, right? In the ways that they need to solve them here in 2023?
Well, Sean, just look around you, right? How many plastic parts can you really find, right?
Too many, yeah, a lot. I'll just say a lot.
And chances are a lot. 80% of these plastic parts are actually injection molded. So, for example, the video on the screen is actually showing a plastic part injection molding simulation where well lines or understanding where the weakest areas of your design could be in the manufactured product, or if the mold is going to fill in the first place, right? So those are some key issues that users can detect upfront in the design process. And because the tool is connected to SolidWorks, you can make those quick design changes as quickly as possible and do a plastics injection simulation on the new design, understand the fill pattern, see if it's going to warp, and things like that. Even look at, for example, fiber orientation. And because of the platform environment, you can take those results into the structural analysis package and do a snap fit analysis like the ones that you're seeing here, just to ensure that you have the fiber orientation in the right direction, where strength is desired, and is the snap fit going to work as expected, or is it going to break in real life? And for tooling engineers, we have advanced capabilities where the tooling engineers can actually design the exact feed systems like sprues, gates, runners, and even the mold, and get a complete picture of the injection molding simulation process. So that means cycle times is paramount for injection molding manufacturers. So if we can, if half a second can be shaved away from that overall injection molding simulation time, that could mean 100,000 extra additional parts every month in manufacturing. Another thing that really helps, where this tool can really help, is warpage analysis. It's the number one headache for injection molding manufacturers. So if there's any way to mitigate that warping effect using virtual simulation, that's a huge time saver as well as cost saver for a lot of companies out there.
For sure. So many exciting capabilities. And hey, Ramesh, thank you so much for coming on. Before we go, we mentioned 3DEXPERIENCE World 2023 is coming up, right? Just like Mike Sandy said in the chat, less than a month away. Yep. And as some of our viewers might know, one of our most popular live episodes last year in 2022, and this was only a couple months ago, was all about simulating SolidWorks models heading into this year, 2023. I think at this point on YouTube alone. And you know, all these episodes are streamed on YouTube and LinkedIn. I think it's over 100,000 views, which is crazy. Wow. Thank you guys, all of you who watched that, and you can watch it today if you haven't caught up with it. But yeah, you know, a lot of that we covered, you know, structural, linear, and nonlinear simulation capabilities, in addition to, you know, a little bit of what you got into today. But again, speaking back to 3D Experience World 2023, and we talked a bit about that with Peter's session. But what else can attendees look forward to on the simulation front for 3D Experience World 2023 here in February?
There's a lot. So I would definitely recommend grab a notebook, grab a pen, attend, you know, so there are about 33 plus technical sessions covering, you know, all the simulation domains. So there are sessions on structural analysis, CFD analysis, and electromagnetic analysis. And there's also, so a lot of technical breakout sessions where you can sit and listen, soak in the knowledge, understand, you know, what value simulation brings to the table with the tools on the 3D Experience platform. But there are also hands-on sessions. So you mentioned earlier, Sean, that, you know, there's an electromagnetic analysis hands-on session. And so I would strongly recommend, if you're in town in Nashville, please sign up, you know, for these hands-on sessions, because I think there's nothing like test driving the software, you know, working through an example in about 45 minutes to an hour, getting a feel for how easy, intuitive it is. It's not just the simulation tool, but, you know, you're going to see in the context of, you know, how you can leverage the benefit of an integrated platform. So you're going to be working on the 3D Experience platform as well. So I strongly suggest, you know, you sign up for these sessions, and I hope to see you there.
Absolutely. Well, Ramesh, thank you so much for jumping on here on live. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks, Sean, for having me.
Absolutely. All right. Well, another way, technologically speaking, that we're able to expand our product development horizons in 2023 to remain innovative is in how we manufacture our products. That's kind of how we let off, right, with Ramesh there. With SOLIDWORKS, we hope, really hope, right? We've convinced you by now that we understand your design challenges with, again, 25 plus years of R&D and product releases in that area. But wow, you think about it, like the world has changed so much in those last, you know, 25 plus years. So on the manufacturing side, especially, like there are more ways than ever to make your parts, not to mention, you know, utilize robotics and even plan your factory operations from end to end. And to speak on this topic, I'd like to welcome on Chris here from my team at 3D Experience Works. How's it going, Chris?
Hi, it's going amazingly. Thank you so much for inviting me. You know, this is the third or fourth time I've been on this. I love it so much, and connecting with the SOLIDWORKS community to me is it's one of the best parts of my job for sure.
Absolutely, always honored to have you. And you kind of alluded to it just now. You were on SOLIDWORKS Live during our first What's New 2023 episode, which we primarily focused on SOLIDWORKS 2023 in that one, and you talked a lot about manufacturing there, particularly with manufacturing drawings. Today, though, as we expand into 3D Experience Works 2023 at a portfolio level, when it comes to expanding your manufacturing and production horizons, how are we expanding beyond the design and documentation phases here in 2023?
So that's a great question. And, you know, the last time I was on live for the What's New, I think that was a really good kind of lead in to the way that Dassault Systems is looking at the whole product life cycle, not just CAD or not just manufacturing or simulation or this. Everything is under an umbrella. And what we're doing is we're panning out now, and we're looking at manufacturing as a whole. You know, moving forward in manufacturing, it's about programming CNC machines, because that's what everybody thinks, you know, CAM, you know, the manufacturing part is, which is true. It's part of it, but there's so much more. And we're going to talk about that today. And I'm really, really excited about it. And those are the things that we're truly expanding horizons. We're truly opening up channels of communication and awareness and ability to entire organizations when it comes to manufacturing.
And you mentioned it. I think it's a great point, right? That when you think manufacturing, maybe your head goes to machining first. But there's so much more to get into, and we'll get into that during this segment. But hey, let's start there, right? Let's start there with integrated machining, or in other words, getting your SOLIDWORKS models or even other CAD file types, right? Manufactured into real physical parts and actual products. Chris, in 2023, what might this look like in your mind?
Yeah, so I'm so excited. This year coming up, we're really ramping up the Delmia aspect of the manufacturing with our CNC offerings coming up. You'll be seeing at SolidWorks World, we're going to be releasing single point machining, so lasers, water jets, things like that. And because we're doing that, most importantly, we're also including nesting. These are just a couple examples of moving forward with manufacturing. What we're really focused on is making sure that everybody has the ability and access to get your parts, whether they're designed in SolidWorks or whatever, into that platform, and really make sure that the production cycle, not just the machining of it, but the whole cycle is smooth and efficient.
Yeah, you mentioned 3D Experience World is a great place, maybe the best place to get outside of certain episodes of SolidWorks live and live on the 3D Experience Works channel here. New product announcements, new capability announcements. I think so. You're going to be getting that. One thing I want to announce is on Tuesday. Those of you who've been to World, like you mentioned, those of you who've been to 3D Experience World, you're probably used to. We've done it very similarly every year, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you have a general session in which you see keynotes, you see those product announcements a lot of the time. On Tuesday, right, there's a full domain session for manufacturing. There's a full domain session for simulation. There's a full domain session for design. They're at different times, but you can really dive into and they're all full of different customers showing you different things. So I think that is definitely worth shouting out. If you want to go see that stuff, you want to see the new capabilities, 3D Experience World is the place to be. And certainly there's more to talk about, which let's save that for the end of the segment, but more to talk about on the manufacturing end, especially with the shop floor, right? But in terms of keeping to the portfolio end, right now in 2023, one area that SolidWorks users might be unfamiliar with us problem solving in, at least, is robotics, and that has been a growing space for a while now. But particularly in this space, programming robots on the factory floor. Chris, I know you've been traveling a lot. You have a ton of industry experience. What are you seeing out there in the field, and what can you show us there in the field of robotics?
It's absolutely incredible. The access to robotics in manufacturing now. I mean, there's just been this barrier that's been dropped, and the prices have come down, availability has come down. Now, for me, over the years, it's always kind of been a mystery. Sure, I can buy an arm, but how do I program it? How do I make sure that it does what I want it to do without killing anybody or wrecking any of my machines? So really what we're doing now in 2023 with our robotics packages, we're really demystifying robotics, right? If you think about the progression of industrial machinery, right? CNC machines were so expensive. When I started out, when we were making the wheel back in the day, right? I mean, these machines were so expensive, you couldn't even think about having one in your house.
Oh, man.
Now we have 3D printers and CNC machines, and that next evolution is going to be robotics and automation. We're going to see a lot more robotics and automation in all shops, not just big enterprise shops, but small to medium shops also.
That is so cool. You think about like the stuff that even you and I have explored over the past, 2 What's New episodes here on live. We've talked about with manufacturing detail drawings, right? We've gone to machining, we've gone to factory floor robots that we just did just now. It seems like we're kind of just zooming out further and further to cover, I guess, more bases than ever, right, within the manufacturing landscape. But what about the factory floor itself? In a given production facility, right? You can have a lot going on all at once, right? In 2023, how are we able to plan and optimize the performance of not only the machines in the factory, but all the dynamics within the factory itself?
right? I mean, there's so much right there that you hit right on the head, right? I mean, when we talk about manufacturing, we talk about the shop floor, right? How do the machines interact with each other? How do people interact with each other? Are people tripping over each other? Do you have too many people in one space? What would happen if I added another person? Like, it gets so in depth, right? There's so much data. And it's been such a mystery for so long. You know, what I to just talk about 3D Experience Works in general, right? In manufacturing, we're so used to having different pieces of software, one to program the CNC machine, one to analyze the robots, one to, you know, do the factory floor. Really, the way that we're approaching this is everything is in 3D Experience Works. There's no separate software package. This is all connected. Everything talks to each other. The information that comes off of the machines, depending on the machines, can be stored, utilized, optimized using the software. So, you know, back in the day, you know, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, you know, it was, you know, you had a programmer that was doing their, you know, programming their CNC machine, and then you had another person that didn't have visibility to that, creating workflows. Here, you know, as you can see on your screen, you can create live workflows without interrupting any kind of production. And that's just, you know, there's just one example of, like you said, kind of panning out and looking at getting our customers' products out the door as fast as possible, right? From birth to earth, you know, from design to sale. And doing things like this, looking at your flow, looking at your factory flow, making sure that everything is working efficiently is really, really important.
There's so much capability. And on that note, right, 3D Experience World's coming up, the shop floor. I have to say, every year that we've had the shop floor, and we've had it for many years now, in the playground, right? You go in. That's one thing that's probably the number one thing I would say personally. You know, going to actually see machines and talk to product experts, that you really cannot get any sort of analog for that online. Like, I don't feel that you can, and I'm so excited to visit you, Mike Buckley, right, of Manufacturing Live.
Yeah, if I could just interject one thing too, you talked about those sessions, and if you want a chance to talk to us about the manufacturing team, you know, we love talking about this stuff. Come into the shop, visit us. I'll be running the 5-axis mill. We're going to have Craig and John Milbury running a mill turn machine in the shop. We're going to be doing coffee mugs and belt buckles. It's going to be a lot of fun. So please come on by and join us, and just stop by and say hi, because we all love talking about it, for sure.
Absolutely. You guys made a whole show about it, right? You guys have Manufacturing Live. That's another reason why you guys should definitely subscribe. Again, SOLIDWORKS channel, 3D Experience Works channel. You guys actively love talking about manufacturing, which I know just makes it fun for all of us. So Chris, we'll see you there. I'll definitely be stopping by the shop floor, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, so for our final theme of the day, which is overcoming barriers, hey, what exactly are we talking about there? Well, SOLIDWORKS 2023 is an awesome release. The numbers have certainly backed that statement up sufficiently, right? You know, but when it comes to overall product development, we know that not everyone in your organization is using SOLIDWORKS to affect their portion of the product development cycle. You know, think about aspects like project management, change management, you know, the product release. These are all crucial parts of the design process that plenty of designers and non-designers and engineers need to have their hands in. And with 3D Experience Works, we're empowering SOLIDWORKS using customers like you guys more than ever, I would say, in 2023, to make this what I like to say a SOLIDWORKS simple reality. And to explore this with us, I'd like to welcome on my friend and colleague, Steve Fick. Steve, how's it going?
Hey, Sean. Thanks for having me. It's awesome to be here. Although I will say a little intimidating following Ramesh and Chris and all the crazy cool stuff they just.
You just gotta remember, it's not your first time on live, but it is your first time on live on the 3D Experience Works YouTube channel.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so we talked about how we have these two themes, right, for 3D Experience Works in 2023: expanding your horizons and overcoming barriers. But when we talk about that second one, right, overcoming barriers for your engineering processes and your engineering projects, that can sound intimidating. That can sound complex, right? what are some ways that we're looking to make something like project management in this case a little bit easier, a little bit more, SolidWorks simple for SolidWorks customers?
Yeah, I think, historically it's definitely felt complex. I think that's a fair way of stating it. And, you've got the meetings that happen before the project and during the project, and then you've got the actual project, the Gantt, the timeline, the things that need to happen. And then you've got, all those tasks that actually need to be executed on. And I think, part of the challenge and the complexity of that is that none of those are typically connected. They're disconnected in most cases. And with, more teams being remote, the complexity of that just increases. But now what I'm really excited about is the fact that with tools like Lean Team Player, now I've got basically like a digital whiteboard where I can start to just throw some sticky notes on, throw some ideas out there. I can invite multiple people to it. We can now have our meetings there, identify things that are, tasks that need to be, actually executed on. And those things that we do identify as actionable items, we can transition them right to a task that then is usable on our project timeline. So I can just simply drag and drop it onto my project, and I've got full visibility to, all those great tools like Gantt charts and task lists. And some of the new stuff allows us just to quickly duplicate, build out those projects very quickly. And just to kind of tie it all together, those same tasks now are available to SolidWorks users. So I can now, inside of SolidWorks, I can just simply open up my task pane and be able to access the task, what it is I need to do, update it on my progress. It's really quite nice related to just bringing down the complexity of it all.
Very, very cool. It's come to this design of products, right? We were just talking about SolidWorks. We've proven, I hope at SolidWorks, I mentioned this earlier, that we can help you do that. When it comes to another area, right? When it comes to managing your design data, I hope we've proven we can do that with PDM over the years. But, in terms of overcoming other common product development barriers, what kinds of challenges are we seeing companies facing with say the design release process? In other words, actually transforming that CAD data, the CAD models, the safely stored and managed data that you have into release for production products.
It's a good question. I think one of the things that comes up a lot that I see is, in order to get the design released, there's this disconnect that has to happen, meaning we take the product structure and all the activities that need to happen to get it released, we export it into typically like a spreadsheet. And, there's custom property information that needs to be added. There's part numbers that need to be added. And spreadsheets are great for this, right? We love them because we can filter and we can sort and we can just key in information for multiple items really quickly. But the thing is, anything you do in there is now divorced from the product structure. It's just not ideal. But what's great about Product Release Engineer is that disconnect no longer exists. So, right off the bat, I can take my product structure that is developed in SolidWorks, and now I've got cross-highlighting between it and the preview, which is just, honestly something you're not going to do in a spreadsheet. But moving beyond that, when it comes to adding those custom properties, I can either key them in directly to an item, I can select from a drop-down, or honestly, I can group select a bunch of items and apply the same property to all those items in one shot, which is really great. The other thing about this is that I can filter and I can group things. So, maybe there's a bunch of parts that still need part numbers. I can go in and apply a part number to those items, and everything stays connected between what I'm doing here and my SolidWorks data. And interesting question, maybe for our audience, Sean, is maybe, how many are still pulling part numbers from yet another spreadsheet, right?
That's funny. I was going to say, I mean, maybe we could even, that'd be maybe a good inaugural poll for the 3D Experience Works YouTube channel. Was it, how many people were using a spreadsheet to pull and track part numbers, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a curious question. It reminds me of when we did our episode of, I think it was top 10 CAD data management trends, where we taught the SOLIDWORKS champions, and this was a live episode that you guys can watch on YouTube. The recording's there on the SOLIDWORKS YouTube channel, that is. And it was really interesting to see some of those insights from surveys we did with SOLIDWORKS champions across the world, working in industry, just like I'm sure a lot of you watching today. From a project planning perspective, again, speaking of spreadsheets, I think many reported, I think it was as many as almost half reported using spreadsheets as still like a very primary project planning and management and tracking tool. So it's great to see that we have, just like Chris said, we have connected tools all in one place that allow you to do that in a way that doesn't, make for exporting data and just having stuff all over the place that isn't connected and isn't intelligently helping you do what you need to do.
Right.
Staying on this same thread, right, of breaking down barriers, overcoming barriers. What about design changes? As we all know, changing a design, it isn't simply a matter of what you might see in a SOLIDWORKS demo, right? Which is it's opening a file, changing the depth of a boss extrude and saving it, right? In the real world, there's the surrounding communication, right, with vendors, suppliers, colleagues. There's approvals. There's various other impacts, right, that go into making that change. So, what are we seeing out in the field, and how are we helping companies that use SOLIDWORKS overcome those sorts of barriers?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it on the head. I think I've been helping customers with PDM, PLM related evaluations and whatnot for quite a while. And specific to the topic of change, we show them a lot of great stuff. And one of the main things that always gets asked is, it's like, all this looks amazing, but do you just have like a out of the box template I can use, or an out of the box change process that we can just start using? And what's great about the platform is that with change actions and issues, everything is out of the box. It's like ready to go, So, you can start a change action. I can pick the users that are going to be responsible for approving it and for actually executing on the change action. I can pick a template that's going to use to go through and manage the approvals. And then, when it comes to identifying the item that I want to change, we've got some really great tools that graphically allow me to see effectively the knock-on effect, right? I can see what is this change going to roll up to, the referenced items above and below. I can add those, right to the change action. And when I'm ready to go, it basically goes and automates the creation of the next revision of those items. And what's also nice about this, this kind of out-of-the-box approach, is that change action is then what governs who can access those files and who can actually change them. So it is actually providing the permissions. And as you saw, right, with inside of SOLIDWORKS, I'm working under that change. And then when I'm ready to go, I can provide, the right approvers can provide their sign-offs, and then I've got traceability to actually what happened along the way. So it really is kind of that, what people have been asking for. It's like, do you just have a way for us to get started? We don't really want to recreate the wheel. We just want to have a change process, and it's great.
Yep, that's good to hear, right? SOLIDWORKS simple, like we said.
Yeah.
And hey, before we go, Steve, and thank you so much for coming on. You've been on live with me, right? We mentioned it at the very beginning of this segment a couple times over the past several months to discuss, overall governance, right? Data management, lifecycle management, right? What are some episodes that you can shout out here where viewers can learn more?
Yeah, so I would first point back to actually the first 2023 launch live session we did. That was, we had some great content there related to governance, not only for the platform, but also for PDM users, PDM Pro users as well. And then, yeah, I would point back to the episode you and myself and Lisa Costa did on, the top 10 data management trends. That was just a really fun conversation that the three of us were able to have around feedback that we had gotten from our champions, which it was just a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So definitely recommend those. If you guys are interested in checking those episodes out that Steve just mentioned, you can see the recordings on the SolidWorks YouTube channel or the SolidWorks LinkedIn. And again, going forward with our new channel here, 3D Experience Works, you'll see a lot of governance and everything that falls under it, based content here on live as well as different videos. So definitely make sure you subscribe there. But Steve, hey, thank you so much for jumping on again. We'll have to have you back on soon.
Oh yeah, anytime, Sean. Thank you.
All right. Well, that wraps us up for today. One thing I wanted to mention is and I'll shout this out again, is a lot of the video-based content that you saw today. The different clips, the different vignettes. They're full narrated videos, full demos of what's new for pretty much everything. If you go to solidworks.com/what's new, that includes all of the broader 3D Experience Works solutions, again, that help you overcome barriers, expand horizons on all the different domains that we discussed today. But thank you so much once again to our guests. Thank you to all of you for attending the first ever episode of Live on the 3D Experience Works YouTube channel. Once again, be sure to subscribe and like this video if you were inspired by anything that you saw today. And of course, once again, visit the What's New page on solidworks.com to see visual, video-based examples of all the power that you can unlock in both SolidWorks 2023, which you saw a lot of in the What's New in SolidWorks 2023 live episode a few months ago, as well as the broader 3D Experience Works portfolio this year. So again, that's solidworks.com/what's new. That's the place to go for all of that. And now, hey, we've mentioned it multiple times already. We're just a few weeks away from some amazing times in Nashville, and it is not too late to register for the in-person experience either. Remember, this is the only place where you'll be able to network shoulder to shoulder with industry peers and influencers, participate in hands-on sessions, like Ramesh said, with experts guiding the way, and all that the overall atmosphere of thousands of SolidWorks and engineering advocates in person naturally brings. So again, you can register today at 3dexperienceworld.com for both the in-person and virtual side of the event if you can't make it out to Nashville this year. But I have to say, hey, while the virtual side won't get you all of these great things, we will be here for you on live at 3D Experience World, giving you healthy doses of FOMO, that fear of missing out, and hopefully inspiring you to attend 3D Experience World as soon as possible here in the future. Thanks to everyone at SolidWorks and 3D Experience Works and Kramer, who's helped bring this episode together. We will see you next week on Friday for our first episode of SolidWorks Live Design in 2023 over on the SolidWorks YouTube channel. Hey, we'll see you soon and have a good day.